Hey, it's the Fit Gear Hunter here today with a review for the Powerbeats Pro headphones. So I've been using and testing different headphone devices because a little bit ago I just decided I've got to get some quality headphones. I've got to get something that works. And the first pair I got, especially the Jaybird Vistas, super awesome fit, but the call quality was poor. The Mavoy earbud gestures that I was asked to test, they would fall out of my ear. So my ear goes from being deformed and to needing, high call quality. So for me, it's been sort of like a mild quest to figure out what's going to work for the size of my ear and for the needs of my day-to-day life. And I think I have found it, but we're going to talk about that in a second. So we're going to look at the Powerbeats Pro and how it fits and feels for CrossFit workouts and for high-intensity interval training workouts. As always, everything on this YouTube channel and subsequently on the fitgearhunter.com website is focused on testing devices for CrossFit and high-intensity interval training. So please give it a thumbs up if you like it and consider subscribing. We're going to talk about the fit and hold in day-to-day life and making calls and in working out intensely. Talk about, secondly, the volume and the quality of the sound as you're doing those things, other calls or working out. 3, how is the call reception? I mean, how is it being heard? Are you being heard clearly and crisply, and can you hear them clearly and crisply? 4, the buttons and control, the measures to change and make adjustments to all the different things you might do, like listen to music and make calls. 5, the battery life of the device. And 6, the perks, the benefits, and any issues I ran into. So with that, let's look at a hands-on and come back together and talk about this.
Okay, so looking at the Powerbeats Pro, obviously a nice pretty case. Simple enough. This is the things that it comes with. So obviously in the case you get the different 3 sets of nodules, as well as the one that come on the comes straight built in, plus the power cord. This will charge your iPhone if you need it to. Nice black cord instead of the white that we're so used to. Nice case, really smooth clamshell and ease of magnetic closure. They fit nicely in the case, and on the ones themselves, we have a single button press here, and the volume controls up and down there. It's the same on both sides. These arms here are bendable, so you can open it up and close it to make it more tight on your ear. Single press will obviously turn and play on and off. So double press will skip forward, triple press will skip backwards, and it's the same on both ears. You get the same sort of controls, single button presses there. Everything, the nodules pop right off, and so you can pop the other ones back on. Okay, great. It's now registering it is not on my ear. Okay, so looking at the app, this is what you see when you go into the little the little information icon in the Bluetooth settings. You can change the name, you can check automatic ear detection, connect to the phone. The microphone is automatic. You can make it always one side or the other, but it'll just try to tell you which one is the best side it can tell. And connect to the phone. So those are all the basic settings. Again, you just find that in the little icon there. Microphone, all that detail. So that's where you change that there. If you want to be able to turn the notifications to automatically come on and off, you go into the notification center and the announce messages with Siri. You can have it read those basic things, and it'll also be able to ask a couple of different settings, so you can turn it on or turn it off by announcing the messages with Siri with the compatible device. All that's easily found in basic explanation of how you work the Powerbeats Pro. So you can reset it with the little tiny button press there, and that'll check for it. They seat relatively easily in the device itself, and they're charging. You can see the pop-up on the phone, so easy to connect and to be able to view and evaluate how much power is left in either the headphones or in the case itself. That's the basic summary, and let's come back together for a detailed overview.
Okay, let's do this take 2. I just did the whole summary and realized my microphone is out. A viewer commented that the sound quality has not been great, so I just am using a lapel mic for everything now, and it's probably going to come out not great there either because it's not a $400 lapel mic. But anyway, let's get into the functionality and what I thought about each of the areas. The fit, hold was great. It does not compress in the inner ear, so you're not going to be able to cut out the ambient noise. One thing I did notice while biking is that there was a lot of wind noise. Now, I hadn't changed to the bigger nubs that would fit on the inner ear, but it did have a lot of ambient noise, and there's no compression, so there's nothing pushing both directions to keep it pressed in your ear. So it is not going to give you the ultra protection for biking where you had a lot of winds coming in. But for CrossFit, it was fantastic. So I tried it: headstand walking, handstand walking, headstand push-ups, box jumps, double unders, butterfly pull-ups, all of it. It all held out fine. There was no real concern of it ever falling out. The fit was great. And the unique thing about it is it doesn't like squeeze your ear. So it's not like after 3 hours you're going to feel like, oh my God, this one side of my ear is red, it's bleeding. It basically just sort of dangles there, and you can squish the arms together, but it dangles there and it doesn't feel cumbersome. It doesn't feel difficult. It just felt fine. It worked upside down and it worked how I would need it to. It is an IPX4 rating, which I didn't mention in the beginning. So it is rated for only light splashes, but it's going to be fine for sweat proof because I'm trusted the name of the company and the history that's going to be fine there. 2, quality, volume and quality of sound. So the volume is loud. I like that I can go up to where it might hurt my eardrum. Don't give me something that's going to I'm going to have to lean into, or it's just barely a little bit loud enough. Give me something where I can go past loud enough, and it does that. The quality of sound though, I trust that the quality of sound is there, but because it's not always compressing, you're not always able to hear the high and lows. So some of the earbuds and wireless headphones out there will compress into the ear, and so you get the full, bouquet of sounds. This doesn't exactly do that, and there's no equalizer to change some of that. So take it for what it's worth. 3, the call quality. So obviously you can hear the person because the volume's loud. You can hear the person on your end, but can they hear you on theirs? It's about 80% of the iPhone, which for me is a thumbs up. That is great. It's got dual mics, and there's something motion and speech detection where it can tell you, I don't know, it's paying better attention to your talking so that it's picking up the talking a little bit better. 4, the buttons and control. I love the button design. Maybe it's just because it's a replication of the old dangly headphones that came with iPhones. It's just the same button presses, but you've got a center circle like we saw. You do your button presses there, 1, 2, 3, or long press, and you have volume controls on both sides. They both do the same on both sides. You don't have to think about what does the right ear do? What does the left ear do? You're not doing any of those things. It's fantastic, and it works well. I mean, obviously, because they're Powerbeats Pro and they're sort of tied in with the Apple family, they really work well for Siri and for dictation. When you go to dictate something and text message or whatever, it'll lower the volume and you'll still hear subtle music in the background, then it'll come back up. But I love that there are physical buttons. Don't give me something that sort of knows I'm touching it. None of that. So battery life, 5. Battery life, 9 hours of use, 24 out of the case. I love that it's 5 minutes gets you an hour and a half. There's been a lot of headphones where 5 minutes get you an hour, or 15 minutes will get you 2 hours, but 5 minutes for an hour and a half, that's a good ratio. But battery life is fine, great there. 6, the perks, benefits, and issues. The fact that you can easily do Siri, it lowers the volume. It's it's more in sync with the iPhone, and I don't know if that's going to be a problem for Samsung users. But one of the other things that's crazy is you can turn it on to where it'll read your text message. If a text message comes in, it'll just read it to you. You can sort of listen, and then it asks you if you want to respond from the mic. So you don't have to touch your phone. You're in the middle of a workout, you want to respond, or you want to know if it's urgent or not. You can turn that off too if you don't want to hear anybody talking to you. But it's not like a robotic voice. It's a nice, smooth voice. All of it feels high quality. So top to bottom, how it held my ear, how it did in handstand walking, how it did in a workout, how the sound quality was for calls on the other end and on my end, how the volume is. I can make it too loud if I want. It doesn't hurt my ear for 3 hours. The battery life is great, and it'll read my text messages to me. Makes this a thumbs up for me, and I really think a thumbs up for CrossFit and high intensity interval training. So with that, it's the Fit Gear Hunter. Thanks so much for watching.